Hello, listeners. Welcome to Aren't You Tired Of, the podcast where we talk about things that we are tired of that make us really tired, right?
Really tired.
We're going to do and talk about good things to make us work and live well, regardless of being tired about it. So my name is Mark Benton, and I'm here with my co-host,
Patti Johnson, everybody. Great. Glad that you all are here.
Yeah, so it is summertime.
It is summertime.
And we are getting ready for outdoor parties and spending time outside and gatherings and getting together. And, you know, today we're going to talk about a topic that I think when you're in those settings, it really is something that can be a burden. And it's the topic of small talk.
Dreaded small talk.
Dreaded small talk.
Yes.
You know, small talk, it's that brief, kind of low stakes, supposedly, conversation, you know, to initiate interaction and, you know, kind of signal, you know, I'm friendly, you know, talk to me. You know, often before like a deep conversation begins. But for some of us, right, it doesn't feel brief. It seems high stakes and we'd like to avoid it altogether. So, Patti, what is your conversation point here on small talk?
Well, stressful topic. Okay,
Yeah,
let's go off by saying that. But question, as we're talking about small talk, I kind of am thinking there's small talk. You're sitting next to somebody on the plane. That's small talk. I'm going to have my earpods on. I'm not going to be chatting.
Yeah, same.
But small talk, you're going to an event you want to go to.
Yeah.
Maybe you have to go to, you need to go. Which are we kind of talking about here? Because they both can be a little stressful.
Yeah, they both can. I'm talking about when you are going to an event and you got to kind of engage.
You got to do it. You don't have the option to pop your AirPods on at the party.
Well, yeah.
You could, but it's not going to go well.
That's going to send a whole different signal, right? Why'd you go to the party?
Are you there?
But I'm talking about, when you're in a situation where, you know, there's two or more are gathered, as you say, and we're going to have to engage in conversation.
Yes.
You know?
Exactly. Yeah. You know, it's funny because I think of small talk, it reminds me of the cousin of networking, right? You know, people kind of get a little twitch.
The cousin of networking.
when you bring it up, people get a little twitch with small talk. And I think, you know, it seems like we do this a lot, our topic, you got to reframe how you think about it.
Yeah.
Right? I'm not there to, like in one of our topics, episodes we talked about, like presentations, don't be all focused on yourself.
Right.
Does my outfit look okay?
Yeah.
Am I interesting? Oh, what do I have to say?
Yeah.
If you forget it. If your brain's rolling through that, you're not going to connect with anybody.
Right.
So I think that's when you got to get your head on straight, right?
Yeah, I agree. And, you know, and you're right. It does come with a lot of, you know, social anxiety. And some people that I know, friends, have told me, I hate chit chat. I hate small talk because
everybody says it.
It feels inauthentic. And I don't feel like I'm really connecting, you know? So I think that's why it's an important topic. And, you know, for some people, some listeners out there, in general, it just causes them anxiety. And I love how you said that, you know, it's the cousin of networking, which is another topic that people are like, networking.
Yeah.
They don't like it.
Yeah, I think too. I mean, we can talk in a minute about like, once you get there and the chit chat needs to start, right? We'll talk in a minute about that. But I think before you get there, not only getting your head right, but what can you do to make it a little easier for yourself? Like, you know, who else is going to be there that you know? Maybe ride together. Maybe pre-planned or go together.
Maybe ride together. You know, I used to have a friend that when we would go to work events, it was a season of, you know, you go to these events and you're networking or it's a training or whatever. And when I was younger in my life and career, I didn't mind it, right? But I wonder, as we get older, I mind it.
Well, I think
I don't enjoy it.
Some of it is more like, I don't want to do what I don't want to do.
Right.
And I think that's the hard part. I also think, you know, we're kind of narrowing in on this whole thing of small talk. But there are times when there are things you want to go to. And, you know, I'm going to have to chit-chat. I want to go to the 4th of July party.
Yeah.
Yes, of course I want to go. I want to go see the fireworks. I want to get some popsicles.
Yeah.
Great. I want to go do that. But there are also obligation events. Like, I don't know about you, but like there's a client event. Maybe the boss is having a holiday party.
Yeah.
You got to go. So again, another example, like all right, what can I do before I get there? What are your, I mean, is there anything you think about before you get besides who am I going to know?
I do, and as we were kind of thinking through this, I think there are some ways that you can navigate small talk more comfortably, right? So I think there's a couple of ways, and I would just say one, I think you can reduce the pressure of it by shifting your mindset from perform, to curiosity.
100%.
Right? If you replace like, what should I say next? Right? To, what am I more curious about? Then it gives you really an authentic way to show up and then be engaged. I think, you were just talking about one of our other episodes about presentations and how if you're all in your head thinking about it, then you're not really on your game.
No. It's all about you.
Yeah.
It's all about you. And I think that is so important, that curiosity. It's funny, it reminds me of in one of the change workshops that I have done. Organizational change. Well, or just change workshops with leaders or anybody.
Yeah, when you're in a workshop.
Learning to change.
Yeah.
One of the exercises we did was around the importance of curiosity and how underrated listening is. Yeah. And listening is like a superpower. And how we do this exercise where we'd pair people up and they would start with a softball question. Why did you pick the career that you did? Yeah. Only the rule was you had to ask like 4 follow-up open-ended questions. And for those of you, if you don't remember in 4th grade, you can't be a yes-no question, right? It's open-ended.
Got it.
And you had to just listen. You couldn't take the conversation over. And you know what was crazy is after less than 10 minutes, people that knew each other really, really well walked away with, I didn't know that about him. So it's crazy how with a little bit of listening, that curiosity, you can really have some interesting information come out and a way to have a good conversation.
I didn't think that's where you were going with that. I thought you were going to say after 10 minutes, they were worn out.
It is a little tiring. No, that too. It is tiring to be an engaged listener because not very many people are. They're always thinking about what they're going to say next. Well, you're talking and I'm working on the next line.
I think that's right. That's right. And I've been, a culprit to do that.
Oh, me too.
Right? Like I used to always tell people I'm so good at names. I used to remember names and faces and all that. I can. Unfortunately, and if you're out there and I've done this to you, I'm going to apologize now publicly.
Hey, girl.
Hey, friend. Hey, friend. I love that now because you can just say, hey, friend.
Hey, friend.
It's so nice and pleasant and connected.
It's got to be the right, though. It can't be like the wrong nickname.
No, like you said, you had that one person you worked with that called everybody Buck. Hey, Buck.
Yeah, don't go up to someone you haven't seen in 5 years. Hey, Buck.
Hey, Buck. So I love Hey Friend, but I used to remember names so well, and now this is really sad. I could meet you at like 2:00 and forget your name at 2:05.
It's gonna be Buck.
It's gonna be Hey Friend. Hey Buck. But,
that is true.
But here's the thing. So. How would you think about this? And I'd love to get your reaction. So think about small talk as like a social handshake, maybe?
Yeah.
Not like a full-on conversation. Success is creating comfort. Maybe not just saying something interesting. So, it's just the start.
It's the start. And I think too, people, you should think about what is hard for you. And sometimes I think it's hard to, how do I start? And what is it? I mean, don't ask people, what'd you do this weekend? Or, where do you guys live? Find a little different twist. Like, Mark, you wear brooches.
Yeah.
And I think that's interesting. Not every guy shows up in a brooch. And so I think that'd be, if I met you at a party and you had on a brooch, my first question would be like, that is so cool. Mark, tell me, is that a family heirloom? Do you collect them? How do you get your brooches? Right then, all of a sudden, you're telling me something interesting.
Well, I love that you brought that up, and you know me, but that has happened. Like, I'm not wearing one today, but when my grandmother passed away, right? So you get a whole story. When my grandmother passed away, we were, going through her things, and I opened up this drawer. And there was, these brooches in there. And, some of them I was like, that's not me. But some of them were like really nice.
But you have some beautiful ones.
Yeah. And I'm like, I wear it. So now when people see it, they'll ask me, oh, what's that all about? And
great
then
conversation starter.
It opens up the whole conversation.
Get a few. I think if you can look for a few, or if you can look for any hints, or if maybe well, how did you grow up in? Like we're Dallas. The listeners, Mark and I live in Dallas.
Yeah.
Did you grow up in Dallas? Is this home for you?
Yeah.
Okay. All of a sudden, you're going to find out. Well, no, I actually grew up in Georgia.
Right.
Okay. Well, then, what do you think of when you think of Georgia? Well, of course, for me, I'm a football person. I'm probably tell me, are you a Georgia fan? They'll probably say no. And then that's that.
And then it'll end. But maybe they are.
Maybe they are. But you know what I mean? Like, what is it that you think of? Or, find something that is a little different twist than the typical. Or maybe if you're at a party, you talked about the gatherings in the summer.
Yeah.
Maybe you're at somebody's house and so on. Well, how do you know Shelley?
Right.
Tell me, how did you all
know
connect?
Each other?
Oh, you were involved in some women's group.
Yes.
Tell me what was that about?
Right.
And so look for something you can connect with.
Everything you're saying is about being curious.
Curious. I think that is the word of this.
It's about being curious.
100%. Yes.
Here's one, going from, and you said this, like instead of saying getting to the chit chat loop, I'll call it, which can be frustrating because then you are in your head thinking about what's the next thing I got to ask because I'm stuck in this loop. Instead of saying, how was your weekend? There's another one that I've heard is, what do you enjoy doing on your free time or in your free time? That's a good one.
Yeah, it can be. Or if you can look for a hint of something to narrow it a little bit.
Yeah.
But you're looking for something like that. That is, or what are you guys going to do this weekend? What are you, we're going to, I play tennis on Saturday. Oh my gosh. Were you, well then you find out, oh, they were on the tennis team in high school. That's so great. Hey, did you keep playing the whole way through?
Right.
What was that like? Find something. If your mind is around interesting questions and so on, it makes it easier. I also think, I've seen people talk about the little pre-planning is look and see who else is going to be there.
That's right.
Who else do I know? Who would I want to go meet?
Yeah.
I mean, I was at something a month or so ago and somebody came up to me and said, you're good friends with Betsy, aren't you?
Oh,
and I've heard your name. Or, something that is like, yes, how do you guys know each other? But that was a great way to go, start a conversation. So a little bit of pre-planning. Who else is going to be there?
Yeah.
What can you do to make, I think that's one of the things is, if we always, what's in your head, how you think about it, be curious. How can you make the event fun for you and interesting? How do you, what are the things that are stressful for you?
Yeah.
About the event and know it ahead of time.
Oh, I love how you just said that because I think another tip for listeners that, kind of struggle with that is respect your energy and also respect the person you're talking to's energy, right? Know who you are and know who they are and try to match their energy if you can, if that makes sense. Pace and curiosity. Here's the word, boundaries. Also, manage boundaries. Remember, you had a story that you were telling me about someone that, maybe you knew, worked with or something, and they were just Mr. 9,000 questions.
Yes, she was.
Oh, she. Sorry.
Yes. It was, and you could tell she was working on questions to the point that it got, it was almost, it turned into an interrogation.
Interrogation.
So somebody with good intent and super nice person, but it was, I'm going to need to wrap this up is what I'm thinking.
Right.
So, I think you can swing it too far. You got to, you can't just be like, question.
Like, no, Patty, where do y'all go on your vacations?
Oh, you do? Well, why do you go there?
Well,
where is it? How often do you go?
Is the weather normally good when y'all go there?
You got to have
y'all
some
drive or do y'all fly?
Exactly. You got to have some conversation, right? It's got to be a kind of a back and forth. I also, in terms of tips before you get there.
Yeah.
Okay.
Yeah.
Couple of things. Number one, two. If it is an event that like you're about ready to opt out. I mean, you don't like small talk, and you're like,
right.
You're sitting there going, you and Shelley, we don't want
to be here.
I do think You got to think, is this an event that's really important to that person?
Oh, that's true.
If it is a baby shower, wedding shower, if it's a wedding,
right.
You've already RSVP. That's probably a bad example. But it is something that is really important to that person. You need to get your behind ready to go. You got to go.
Put on your game face.
Put on your game face and say, and I also think sometimes I know I've gone to things, it was more like, this is something I want to do for that person.
Oh,
is it my favorite thing to do on this Saturday night? No. But I know it means a lot to her. I will be there.
Yeah. I think that's another key point about this, because it's also making it not about you, right? And it's a good thing to say, yes, this is, I'm going with, my significant other, my partner, my spouse, to say, this is an important event for them. And so I'm going to go and show up and, do all the things to support them. I think that's really, really important. I think about the sitcoms and things where, in some of those rom-coms where you go to the event with your special person or whatever, and they ruin it for you. You got to, right? You got to know who is your special person. Well, you got to know who you're bringing. You got to know who you're bringing. Whoever that special person is, your partner. Yeah. Maybe you're bringing one of your really good friends. Yeah. You got to know, are they going to click with the rest of the gang? That's right. Otherwise, you may increase your stress. Well, I mean, I have a situation that happened where I, asked a buddy of mine to go to, a thing with me. He's got to begin around telling jokes. And he was telling jokes and then got lit. I mean, just like as my mom used to say, not just drunk, but running drunk. Oh. And just like, I was like, who I gotta get this? You out of here. We got to go. So you got to know who you're bringing. You got to know. That is a great point. Yeah. Know who you're bringing too. Yeah. And if that person's your plus one at the wedding, well, it's going to be stressful. You just need to make sure it's that kind of wedding. It's that kind of right. It's like, right. Oh my gosh. Yes. Well, I have a couple of fun facts that I checked into because I was really interested in this whole topic of small talk. And so before we wrap up, I wanted to just share one quick thing. Well, I've got a couple other things I want to say too. Well, before I share my fun facts. Don't share the fun facts yet. Okay. Because the other thing I was thinking of, this is in terms of wrapping up, is have you ever noticed that, and sorry to rewind, Mark, but this was just going through my head, is one of the most stressful things is the wrap up. I've come over, you and I have chatted a minute and we've had a good conversation. How do you wrap it up? It starts to be a little lull. Yeah. Okay. And it's a party, it's a gathering of big people. Yeah. And I have felt this myself. This needs to end. And I don't know how to do it. And I think, I would encourage listeners. Oh, I love this tip. Go ahead. If you know that is going to be hard for you, and most people it is. Yeah. Okay, you got to have a few in your hip pocket, right? You got to be like, Jim's running around here somewhere. I need to go. I'm going to go catch up with him. So great talking to you guys. Yeah. Or I did not have a chance to eat dinner. I have got to go get a snack. Right. So nice talking to you guys. I've got to go get a drink. Yeah. Whatever it is, if you're really desperate. Where's the bathroom? Well, can you point me where the bathroom is? Do you know what I mean? I've used that one. Like, I need to find the men's room. Yeah. You know where that is? It all of a sudden, you can have a good, short conversation that went really, really well. And if you just keep standing there because you don't want to do it again. Yeah. Then all of a sudden, your stress level is going beep, 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 beep. And you stop listening. You stop listening. Like there was something, I'll say this super quick too. There was something on Instagram where it was like in 2026, when I'm done with a conversation, I'm just going to give it a thumbs down. So I like the fact that, someone's just talking and you just like, listeners, if you're listening, you can't see me, but like if you can on audio, you just, I'm done. No, I'm going to be moving on. Yeah. Oh, well, how do you think about this? And da-da-da. Thumbs down. Yeah, thumbs down. I'm done. Well, okay. I mean, that could be one way out. That could be you'd be way right out the door, right? You know what I'm saying? The other thing, what about the event that we talked about this at the beginning? You're obligated to go. Yeah. Okay. Yeah. So back to the departure. Yeah. I have a couple of thoughts on that. Yeah. You can also ahead of time, I need to go.
Okay?
Yeah.
The big boss is having the holiday party at her home.
Mm-hmm.
You're going to be going.
Yeah, I got to be there.
I got to go.
Yeah.
I got to go.
Yeah, I'm expecting.
Well, I think you can also let people know in advance, we have one more thing I have to go to that night. You don't have to say.
Yeah, where and
you don't
when
have to say, and about an hour and a half is all I can handle. You're not going to say that. But you can say, I have one more thing I have to do. I have to go to tonight.
Yeah.
Or don't. Just as you're leaving, say, we've got to go to one more thing, whatever it is. If you can, the other thing we've done, I know when there's been an obligation event. Yeah. Like, how can we make it fun? Okay, well, we'll ride with there's couple other friends we know who are going. Yeah. Ride with them. Yeah. Let's go to that for a little while. Yeah. Then let's go have a great dinner. Yeah. Okay, all of a sudden now an obligation night. Yeah. This sounds fun. Yeah. And so
I like that.
I like that. You got to kind of ahead of time, those obligation events. Sometimes I think, you talk about the groan of small talk. Mm-hmm. That's when I feel like the most, I've got to go to this thing. I don't want to go. I've got to go to this thing, No,
I think that's really good. And I'm sensing that you might be a little bit of a pro at this. Like, like if I go to the obligation thing, we're going to have a little fun dinner or do something else
don't
later.
You think?
Oh, I think that's a good idea.
It's a mind trick.
I think that's a great idea.
How can you make it fun? I do know someone who, I haven't done it. It's not really my style. Yeah. But I do know someone who would go to events like that and say, I'm going to go have small talk with 5 people. Oh, yeah. When I have met 5 people, I'm out of here.
Yeah, Patti out. Yeah.
And they still kind of like, we're going to make this a little game. Okay. Now, I don't know. That's not really, I don't know. Would you ever do that? That's not really my style.
No, because it would be energy for me. And the energy that I want to put into something else, like maybe checking out the charcuterie or just something else.
Yeah. You can't go meet one person and go hang out at the charcuterie.
No, maybe.
Well, and you might be like competitive, where I'd say, I've met my 5 people. You said, I'm going to make it 6. I'm going to go.
I'm going to see your 5.
I'm going to see your 5.
And I'm going to do 3 more.
Yes, seriously. So you just make yourself out the door. I got more work to do.
I have met thrice the people, Yeah.
But I think the thing we're getting in before, I know you were talking about fun facts. Yeah. But I do think, I love that. I think that our encouragement, as you hear us just brainstorming and talking about things we've done or seen, is like, what are those little tricks? Yeah. Because we all have to small talk, unless you are a hermit, right? Or you are a solo person working by yourself all the time. You're going to have to do a little of this, So you got to figure out, how can I make it fit me? How can I feel more comfortable and not so freaking miserable?
Well, that's the thing. We've talked about a bunch of different things, but what we really want to address here is that if, small talk is, work for you, then, here's some things that can help you. And I mean, I didn't think about it until we really started talking about this, but it kind of becomes fun to me. Like if I catch the person that is not good at it, or I can tell they're like, 9,000 questions, I'll just start throwing them back, And why'd you pick that shirt? Yeah.
Well, and I think, Mark, obviously I've known you a long time. I think one of the things you're a natural at, I'm not sure what the magic is when you meet people, it's a little bit like, well, hi, friend. It's like I've known you forever. Oh, and I don't know if it's not really words. I would say it's more of an openness. Yeah. Now, you privately will say, small talk wears me out. Yeah. Yeah. But at the same time, there's that openness of, at the time, once you get there, that I don't know how do you do that?
Well, you know what? I realized that I think at my core, I'm interested in people. Yeah. I'm interested in people. And it's something about, I feel like we're in a world sometimes where we aren't opening the door, and so what I was thinking while you were talking is, if you're one of those people that really enjoys the small talk and, and you thrive and you get your energy there, help those that don't.
Because you can probably tell. Yeah. I think that's a great point. Yeah. That maybe that's your...
I just never want someone to feel uncomfortable. Yeah. With me. Now
bring a little humor too.
Well, I'm always going to drop a few jokes. But you know what? I was really curious about the biological behavior around this topic, like humans versus other species. And, I think we've seen this, if you watch like documentaries on primates and apes and stuff, they don't talk, they groom each other. So like, have you ever seen like apes sitting around and they're like, doing the little thing?
Don't do that at the party.
No, you don't pick people. don't pick people. But that's what they do. And it's there's no talking, but what it's doing is it's signaling goodwill.
Yeah.
And it's trust and it's care.
Now, if somebody has a bug on them,
well, I
you're
might
going to
tell
need at
them.
the party.
Yeah.
Yeah.
I used to pride myself before I talk about the next one is I might be,
go up.
hey, friend, someone has a fly on their nose. You slap them across the face.
Don't do it. Oh, it's a fly.
Fly. Bam. Slap them across the face.
You're welcome.
Yeah. Didn't want that to bite you.
No. Heaven forbid.
So, okay.
Sorry.
So primates. They kind of groom each other, right?
Okay.
And that's good.
Okay.
Dolphins, they rely on vocal screech.
Mm-hmm.
So, when they're doing that,
don't do that at the party. No,
don't do that. Could you imagine you're trying to call the person you came with? Like, right. Don't do that.
Don't do it.
So, you might think it's just noise, but that's the way that they communicate.
Mm-hmm.
So just because it might, seem one way, it's really a form of communication. Patti.
I think what you're trying to say, it is natural behavior.
It's natural behavior. It's natural behavior. It's natural behavior that other species really do.
Yeah,
and I think that's important.
Absolutely.
To teach us a lesson.
Oh, you guys.
You know what, listeners?
We're having a giggle.
We're having a good giggle over here on the expense of primates and dolphins.
Yes, we are. Yes.
What I will say is that it helps people to say, I see you.
Yeah. And that's what you want.
That's what you want.
That's what you're looking for.
Absolutely what you want.
Absolutely. So do we want to end with some tips?
I do. I'd love to. And why don't you start?
Well, I think mine, I got a few. One, you got to change how you think about it.
Yeah.
If you have got this label, small talk is networking and I hate it and it wears me out.
Yeah.
I mean, it's like anything. If you have those kind of like tapes running in your head, it's not going to be fun for you.
It's not going to be fun.
It's not going to be fun.
Yeah.
So you got to reframe that. Secondly, we've talked before, it's not about you. Quit if you're all up in your head of how many times you go to events. Does this outfit look all right?
Yeah.
Oh my, I don't know.
Yeah.
I think I've overdressed. I pull up. Oh my gosh, everybody's in shorts and I've got a dress. Oh my God, I mean, stop.
Yeah.
Okay, it's not all about you.
Yeah.
You're there to meet and be curious. I think you brought that up. I think that's the key word. I also think to do a little bit of mental pre-planning to make sure you know who's going to be there that you know and maybe you want to connect with. And I'll just say one more thing and then you can give your tips.
Yeah, no, it's good.
We always, I do, I'll say me.
Yeah.
People that I haven't seen in a minute, even on the way over to their house or whatever, I'll be thinking, now, okay, the last time I saw them, okay, let's see. All right, they just got back from a trip to Maine. I know they were doing that.
Yep.
And I think they're really into Hacks, which, by the way, oh my gosh, the best finale ever.
The show Hacks.
Oh, the show Hacks, so good.
Yeah.
They're really into Hacks, and it just ended. The season just ended. I'll want to talk to them about that.
Yep.
I think their son maybe just moved to Austin. I need to find out how that moved. So almost like you do a few mental prompts. It's not like you're scripting yourself, but you're refreshing.
Yeah.
It's almost like you're hitting refresh on that person.
Yeah.
Some people I know who are very active socially, they'll in their contacts take some notes. I used to do that some in business. I don't really do that now.
Yeah.
But just kind of a pause and think, what's going on with this person? Oh, they just got promoted. I need to be sure and recognize them for that. Things like that.
Yeah.
You talk about that, just honor the other person and, and so on. I just think a little bit of mental refresh can help you do it.
Oh, I really like that. I really like that. And I was reflecting as you were talking about, you said, when you see me interacting with people, how I, show up. And I'm reminded that my, I take my cues, from, those that I've seen around me. And my grandmother was a very gracious person. She never met a stranger. you
Love
know,
that.
always could have a kind word for someone.
Mm-hmm.
And I don't know, I just saw how that energy came back to her.
Mm-hmm.
And so I just think, especially, you know, in the world that we live in, it's something, there's a magnet that's on our refrigerator and it says, you know, in a world where you can be anything, be kind.
Yeah.
And so I just think, you know, when it comes to small talk, think about it as an opportunity.
Yeah.
And for me, you know, this is a 5-minute opportunity, or this is a 10-minute opportunity.
It's not a big deal.
It doesn't have to go on and drone on. So that, you know, I think those are some
thoughts. Be kind, be curious. Those are kind of two things you've mentioned. I love that. I love that. With that, we're going to put a bow on small talk. We know it's the reality of life. We all have it. I think our encouragement to you guys is don't let it be such a big deal. Do a little, get your mind right, do a little pre-planning. Yeah. And you can make it less of a thing. Less of a thing. Don't let it cause you to miss something that you want to go to.
I like that. The call to action, Patti, that I'm reminded of is, listeners, if you try some of these tips and they work for you, let us know.
Yeah, we'd love to hear. We'd love to hear. Thank you guys for spending time with us on this important topic. And also, please like the podcast, subscribe, share with someone. If you've had conversations with someone who's having a problem with small talk, please send it over. And we're on Apple, Spotify, and you can join our community on Instagram. Aren't you tired of?
Yeah.
Social. All right. Have a great week, everybody.
Take care.
Thank you.